Thanks for joining Blab.Cafe number 59. This is a place where you can introduce your business, products, and or services. Today's pitch, get your pitch on, get your pitch on. Yeah, basically, it's all about getting the pitch on, getting your pitch down to coming out and flowing, so it sounds natural, but then not too, what's the word for it? Not too rehearsed, then it kind of sounds kind of phony. So thanks. We're going to get underway in a minute. And if you could just do me a favor and tweet this out by hitting this little tweet button or this Facebook button. Really appreciate that a lot. And we'll get started right away. Thanks for joining. Hi, and welcome to the Blab.Cafe. This is a place where you can introduce your business, products, and or services. Get your pitch on. Today I have Rivin Designs, or otherwise known as...
Well, Rivin Designs. I'm Pam Talon. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing for them. So I'm in here today to talk about website design, website development, and kind of what the company is doing and how we can help people.
Great. Well, that was concise. So what exactly do you do for folks? I mean, there are people that are going to come to you, obviously, at different levels of background and knowledge of the field. Do you handle people from starting off the street that just want to get their websites up and running, and then all the way up to people that have a background and know what they want, but they need some help here and there?
Absolutely. We've worked with everyone. We've worked with people who come to us and don't even know that they should be working on a bit of a brand and that they should have a definite public visual face on their digital. And we've also worked with full enterprise that are multinational companies, working with their marketing, their sales, their marketing that way, e-commerce sites, full e-commerce sites, custom e-commerce sites as well. So someone who just needs to get something small off the ground, they have one product they want to sell. So I guess if you want to summarize that, we work with all groups, but we find out what you actually need. We don't try to sell you something just because we want to sell it to you. Quite often someone will come to me and they're like, oh, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. And the first question is, well, why? What are you actually trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
And what'll happen is I'll look at them and say, well, based on what you're trying to accomplish, you don't need all of that. I'm not sure who told you you needed all of that, but let's start small. And let's build it up from there, because if you bite off too much, you're going to be regretting it. But let's get something that's actually going to serve your purpose. A website is a tool. It's there to give you solutions. So let's actually use it for what it is. Let's not just put up a little brochure that says, hi, this is who I am. That's not interactive. We don't want something that's not going to help you. So we'll get that up for you, make it a tool, build functions in the back end that will automate. So if you can automate functions, especially for non-for-profits who have a lot of turnover, people who are untrained, if they just have to enter one thing and the rest of it is all automated, they don't have to worry. So let's give someone a solution that gives them the most value for their money, the most benefit to what their actual purpose is. And if they need to scale it up later on, well, then we'll revisit it. Yeah.
Well, I've got lots of questions for you, but those are going to be coming online and offline, because they're just very extensive. And what we were talking about before, which is actually building up the website, which is Blab.Cafe, that's going to require a lot of tender loving care to start off, because there's such a big glut of content that has to be uploaded. And like you were saying, it was very important to add the text to all of those videos, and that's going to be time consuming as well. Yeah.
The way to view your website is it's your 365, 24/7 salesperson. So invest what you can into it. I mean, don't beggar yourself. Invest what it's worth and what it's going to do for you. But invest what you can into it, because if you actually had to hire someone 365, 24/7 as a salesperson, you couldn't afford it. But that's what your website's really doing for you. So make sure it's a good product.
Right. Well, I really love it that you've got the knowledge and the background that you do, because it's very clear that you have your experience. So, so then how do people get in contact with you? Can we go ahead and grab your links and have you put them in the chat bar, and then we'll also extract them and put them into the show notes over on YouTube?
Yep. If people scroll up, I've already got my LinkedIn there, which you can always contact me directly through LinkedIn.
Okay.
I'm going to put our website here. It's actually going to be redeveloped soon. We've actually been spending all of our time on customer work, so that is the website, but it is going to be redeveloped, so just bear that in mind. It's looking a little bit rough on the edges currently.
Right.
Other ways to contact me is through Facebook. You can find Rivin on Facebook.
Okay, cool.
You can find at Rivin on LinkedIn, so just right here, or not LinkedIn, but at Rivin on Twitter. Easy to find. So yeah, pretty much it's all branded under Rivin. If you look for that, it's pretty hard to miss us. We're the only ones with that name doing web design.
Yeah, I had to get that stuck in my mind, Rivin instead of Rivon. I don't know why I wanted to say Rivon all the
Just
time.
think of that nice, smooth Canadian drink called rye. It's all good.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, thanks for joining and thanks for sharing your links. And like I said, we will go ahead and post them over on YouTube. But in the meantime, I just wanted to say thank you for being my first Blab chat here, introduction here, because you know what? Sometimes it's hard to get off the, get the ball rolling right in the beginning because, yeah, I mean, sometimes we're slow and sometimes it just goes one after another. So
sometimes I've had my coffee and sometimes I haven't.
Yeah. So thanks for joining.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome to the Blab.Cafe. This is a place where you can introduce your business, products, and or services. Today I have Fabrizio Poli. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, you did, Donald. Perfect.
Great. So what kind of projects are you involved with right now, Fabrizio?
Well, I have an aviation company called Tyrus Wings, and what we do is we buy and sell aircraft, both private jets and commercial aircraft. And we also just recently launched a new division where we manage private jets for owners as well. So we do have a couple of clients came to us recently. They bought aircraft and they needed the aircraft to be managed, which means hire the pilots and manage the aircraft for them, the maintenance, all that kind of good stuff. So that's what we've been doing. We work worldwide. We have a very unique way of approaching the market. We interact with our clients and try and really focus on what the client needs aircraft wise. I mean, my goal is for every client to have a positive airplane experience. So I'm not just going to sell you a $50 million airplane because I'm going to make a load of money off the $50 million. It's all about the client and what the client really needs. So we go through a whole process of trying to figure out what the mission profile is, et cetera, et cetera. And then with the management, on the management side, we have a very unique approach there too. I mean, we believe a private jet needs to stay private. So when people come to us and say, could you charter the airplane out for me when I'm not using it? We actually advise against that because it's a bit like if you own this really nice luxury villa, are you going to actually rent it out to some stranger when you're not in it? So same thing with the private jet. Plus today with terrorism on the increase and all that criminality as well and all that kind of stuff, you really don't want strangers using your private jet. Private jet needs to stay private. And so we discourage chartering out when the owner's not going to be using it. So just to keep it private. The other thing that we always suggest is to hire the right men, as in the pilots, and not focus on a pilot that's particularly experienced on your type of aeroplane. We can get that sorted out with a training course. Training is another important aspect. I believe you've got to get people mainly from the airline industry with a private jet because they've got a better background with flying. They've usually flown more hours. They've flown with many different people. And the airlines are very standardized, so you get more discipline and a better, higher quality pilot from the airlines. So that's another thing that we recommend. So we've got a very unique, we also advise that they have them trained more. Because what a lot of people don't know is that the private jet safety record is 5 times, they crash 5 times more than the airlines. Mm-hmm. So the private jet is actually not safer than the airlines, but it can be safer if you approach it in a certain way. And so, again, we bring in our expertise to help with that. And a lot of it starts with selecting the right aircraft when you're going out there to search for a plane. And some people come in and say, oh, no, I want to buy that one because that's $32 million. The other one's 35 million. But yeah, don't look at the number. Let's look at the quality of what you're buying here, because the last thing we want is for this thing to break down or end up having a major maintenance problem that's going to cost you maybe $5 million. So let's look at buying quality, buying the right machine for the type of mission you're flying, And so it's important to understand where the client's going to be going, how often, how many passengers, et cetera, et cetera. So we have a very, I'd call it holistic approach to the whole thing.
And you have a background in, you're a pilot yourself, so then you have the background, you have the expertise that's obviously you need.
I mean, I've flown for airlines, I've flown private jets, so I know both worlds. I know what works in both worlds, and I know people in both worlds. And so I bring that to the table, and I've been flying since I was a kid. I started flying when I was 17. So it was quite a while back. I actually got my pilot's license before my driver's license. So if any of you, if any of you are thinking of buying a plane or looking into what it costs to buy and run a plane, or you may already have a plane, you want it managed differently and stuff like that, please zoom on to our website, tyruswings.com. Fill in the form that's on there, and we'll be in contact with you. We'll do a nice conference call, get to know you, get to know what your needs are, and hopefully we'll be able to give you a positive airplane experience.
Well, that's great. That was very clear and concise. So what I can ask you to do now is just share your links in the chat bar, and I will extract those links and put them onto the YouTube show notes. Then that way those links will follow the video around wherever it goes. Thanks a lot, Fabrizio.
Okay, so it's tyruswings.com. There you go.
Hello and welcome to the Blab.Cafe. This is a place where you can introduce your business products and or services. Today I have Lori Reed in the house. How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Pretty good. So what kind of products and services or products and services are you involved with right now?
Well, I actually have my own company. My company actually works with adolescents that are aggressive within the home towards their parent or caregiver.
Wow.
Yes.
That's pretty serious business.
Very serious business.
Wow. So, and is this primarily, I would imagine that this is some kind of one-on-one work that you have to do.
Actually, what I did is that, and I'll tell you a little bit of the history about it. I started working in the diversion program, which is part of the juvenile justice within a county within Florida. And we were getting referred individuals, mainly adolescents, that were charged with domestic violence towards their parent or caregiver, assault or battery. And so what was happening is that the parents were sent off to a regular parenting course, and I was getting the adolescents. And what was happening is that as the parents were learning how to put in consequences and how to discipline or how to parent a child or their teen, what was happening is that their behavior started escalating even further. Now, granted, the parents weren't in my class. They were at a separate class. And I just started realizing as a family therapist, something's just not right here. So I went to a conference and it went ding, a light went in my head and said, we're doing this all wrong. We need to bring the parent within the program with the adolescent to then focus on a lot of the communication areas that happen that escalate the behavior, because research has shown that it starts with verbal abuse first and then it escalates to physical abuse. So if we can de-escalate the verbal, maybe we might be able to help out the family and be able to communicate and reduce that abusive and violent behaviors that are occurring in the home. So voila, 5 years later, here I am with a program that is a group format where parents and the child comes to the group. They learned through a 10-week program certain specific skills, and then they graduate the program and they move forward. And it's we're actually using a lot of different research elements from different universities and such, and trying to make the curriculum into something that could be implemented worldwide.
Wow. Pretty lofty goals.
Very.
but
I'm an overachiever.
But it's better to think big than to think small, because in this day and age with the communication that we have, I mean, look right now, we could be seen literally around the globe. So it's pretty cool that you can actually do this now. That sounds pretty interesting though. And so what do you say? What would you say though? I mean, is right now, because obviously you're using the techniques in these different locations, would most of your clients come from your local area? I mean, you've worked one-on-one, I guess, with some people, I would imagine.
Well, I think as a small business owner, and just to kind of preface that with other business owners that are out there, strategically planning out how you can maximize your
reach.
Your reach. There you go. Thank you. I started receiving a lot of phone calls from multiple different family members, even from the UK, as well as nationally here within the US, basically saying, I need something that's going to be helpful for me. And I'm like, I'm really limited because it's really a group face-to-face that's referred by a local county in Florida. And so I realized I need to take some of my curriculum and put it online. And so this past year, part of the big push was to revamp my website and incorporate specific pieces or lessons from the curriculum that I thought were key lessons that a parent can actually download and look at privately in the confidentiality of their own home and at the leisure of what they chose to do within their own home, and learn these skill sets and be able to communicate back and forth to me through a private Facebook group.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And if they needed a little bit more help, then there's this consulting or coaching, as some people are now working on towards, where I can help out individuals, because as a licensed clinician, you can't necessarily cross over different state lines and technically call that therapy. But there is a consulting element where I can help them deal with what's going on and refer them to local community, and as well as teaching them how to actually communicate that to maybe a therapist that they're already attending.
Yeah, so that's what my idea was too, is just I was thinking that you could actually be like the overseer of a training program where you're actually training people out there in the field that to use these techniques. And
well, what's really great is that nationally, that's exactly what I'm planning on doing, is create a train the trainer curriculum model where train the trainer where they are trained to go in and do what is necessary. They purchase that and or be able to package it to, such as the juvenile justice system or child welfare system, if they want to implement it in their locations, doing it that way to making sure that individuals adhere to the fidelity of the model and those types of things, and implementing different elements for research purposes.
Oh, that's cool. Well, it sounds very interesting. It sounds like you got some great plans and some good forward momentum going there.
Yes, so, I'm looking forward to it.
Is to go ahead and share your links, and what I will do is extract those links and put them into the YouTube video, and then that way this content will be linked to the YouTube video. And I do share on all the platforms. Just about every single time, it's always going to Twitter, Facebook, Google+, YouTube, and also the standalone website, which is Blab.Cafe. So
wonderful. I appreciate that very much, and I appreciate that we finally get to connect together.
Yeah, technology.
It is.
Yeah. So thanks for stopping by, Lori.
Absolutely, and I'll put in the link right now.
Thanks for stopping into the Blab.Cafe. This is a place where you can introduce your business products and or services. This is Blab.Cafe number 59. Thanks for joining. We'll see you tomorrow.